Last orders at the bar, please.
Welcome to Tavern Tales, a curated 5e Dungeons & Dragons adventure set in the tales of the Yawning Portal campaign module by Wizards of the Coast. Previously on Tavern Tales, it has been a very interesting long rest. Let's just say that as our Stonehammers finally move out and into the Glitterhame proper.
Come sit down and drink with the enemy, raise a glass and toast to the enemy, and I'm not gonna do this on my own. So come sit down and laugh with the enemy, raise a glass and sing to the enemy, and I'm not gonna do this on my own. So I won't end up being alone, 'cause I won't drink my drink alone. So what about you? 1 beer or two, I'll drink to you.
When you come back to yourself, Foghrim, what is your first action?
I just feel like shit.
Do you do it Jack Nicholson from Batman and you're like, mirror, mirror? Am I too old?
No. I'm trying to decide if that's what Foggy
That
would
reference
do.
did not fly?
The only reference that I got was The Simpsons when Lisa did it and she got braces. She kept saying the mirror.
Oh, yeah.
The mirror.
That's from Batman.
Batman.
No, I remember that. I know what you're talking about when he turns Joker. Yeah. I'm with you.
So what's Foghrim do?
No, he as the while Foggy was having that horrendous dream, he's pretty sure that he may have crapped his pants. So he's gonna just that was really scary for him.
Sure.
So he's gonna kind of like get up, see if anyone else is looking at him, and kind of grab himself
definitely
and
did
walk.
not crap his pants.
It feels not good down there.
It's damp, but it's just butt sweat.
Okay.
Major butt sweat.
So he quickly checks and then gets up and I think goes to the river and kind of like splashes water.
Totally, you're like
water on his
hobble
face.
to the river like an old man because you're so like he was such a deep sleep. Your legs don't work. Like your feet were all curled and clenched and whatnot, and they're not. You're like my feet hurt so much. My flat arches. Because I mean, I don't think Foghrim has the best arch support in the first place.
No, he's pretty flat-footed.
Or familial support, but nonetheless.
Yeah, so runs over to the river to splash water in his face and like check on his face.
And your face is all wrinkled and elderly, but that's just the ripples in the dark pool. Finally, things go to normal. Your face looks back at you, and it's normal Foghrim.
And I quickly checked that my mohawk's still there.
Yeah, you definitely bent it while you were asleep. In your fevered dream, there's a flush to your cheeks.
I was going to say, if he falls into the stream, I'm done. I am leaving now.
He's over by the pool, so he's not by the fast-flowing current of the stream that flows to the waterfall.
No more waterfalls.
Don't go chasing waterfalls.
You're not the bard, but you're coming up with songs. So, with that, we finish our 8-hour rest. Which was not very restful.
Not restful at all.
But nonetheless, spells are returned, hit points are reacquired, and a certain je ne sais quoi vive for adventure is definitely ablated a bit. So,
anything to get my mind off that would be great.
Yeah.
Hi-ho.
I am going to go up to Eldith and ask her if she's got any books that describe the gods, like any religious texts.
So do that.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I guess I can. Shut up, guys.
Hey, Eldith, do you have any books that've got some god stuff in it?
I didn't bring any books with me because, that would have weighed us down for our adventuring, but I have memorized quite a few of the texts. What would you like to know?
Do you know about the god, Grunch?
I don't know. Do I?
Oh, I asked questions that didn't have immediate answers. Oh, no, there's dice instead.
While you're talking, a bunch of troglodytes show up and try to kill us yet again.
No, they're all
Another
baby goat foggers.
No!
I was to say there's a roper that
Don't make
jumps
me
in the
kill
pool.
my goat children.
Daddy.
Mama wants alimony.
We're not married. It's child support.
You're a
Goat
warlock.
support.
You're a warlock, Fogram. Of course you're married.
What does this happen? Foggy had no idea what he was getting into. He just knew it felt good.
And that's why you ask first.
Yeah, Foggy doesn't ask questions.
That's
He
Foggy's
shoots
own damn
first.
problem.
Ask questions later. And
Feel
shoots
like-
from the hip.
Foggy says that a lot. Like Foggy had no idea what he was getting on into. It just felt good.
Yeah. No, that's how I live my life.
It just felt good.
That's why he hangs out with family, because he knows they'll be there to stop him from doing the things that feel good.
Except for Tessica.
I didn't know you were doing this. I just came back one day and suddenly you were also worshipping Shubsy.
It is really interesting that you point that out, because when you went out onto the mountainside, it was because Shub Naguruth wanted you to go out there.
What?
Yeah, you had to go and mark a sigil on the cliff face of this readout for Shub Naguruth. While you were out there doing that, Shub Naguruth penetrated your brother deeply and wholeheartedly.
Well, that explains a lot. Well then, tomato, tomato. Not a big deal.
Yes. But I'm guessing that your relationship to Shub Naguruth is not to your head. The tether is to
No.
your heart. Ooh, or is
lower
it lower?
than that.
Right there in your belly. Got it. Right where the belly button is.
On the
In the
other
subcockle
side.
region.
No,
The feeding of the belly. What?
it's lower. And
Buttocks.
the other side.
The back door.
That is where things come out, not where things go in.
Yeah, but only if you're closed-minded.
Close-minded. Yes, clothing covers that place.
God, you was an
Sometimes
animal.
you can go in through the outdoor. So
I went to a place I want to
I did that at
is in the back.
Shoppers.
It said out and I went in.
Shub Naguruth is like, there's more parking at the rear. Having fun, Aaron?
So, do
I got nothing.
But you're having fun?
I'm just watching. Oscar and Aaron are just watching in sheer amazement.
do I know about that god?
groups.
After all of my memorizing of
Let's in this instance, let's roll our first D20 of the game an hour in, and we'll know. But it'll be a scaling roll. You are skilled in religion, so you have a certain a bit of information that will be made available to you anyway, and that is that Grumsh is an evil god.
okay.
You do know Grumsh is a god, and an evil one at that.
Can I give guidance?
20.
I think that if you offered guidance, Eldith would reject it.
Yeah, I
So in the future, don't ask me if you can give guidance. Ask the player, like in character, do the whole thing.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Much like how you were like, does Eldith know anything about Grumsh? Anyway, so with a 20, so your base knowledge is that this god is evil. Your secondary knowledge is this is a god of the orcs, and tertiary to that, you may read the top of 244 in the Monster Manual. And those following along at home, if you'd like to learn more about Grumsh, page 244 of the Monster Manual. But while Paige and Eldeth figure out about Grumsh, which is very immaterial to the matter at hand, our little band of Stonehammers decides, are they moving north and investigating the treasures belonging to the troglodytes, or are they moving up the dwarven cut steps to the door?
I can't believe I'm gonna say this, but I don't really care for more treasure. Let's go up.
Yeah, we can't carry it anyways. Too much stuff.
Did we find what we were supposed to find down here, though?
What were we supposed to find?
I think we killed what we're supposed to kill. I don't know what we
Supposed to
found.
kill troglodytes.
But I think that big door at the top we should investigate.
I concur.
Grumsh is not a very nice thing.
What? That's so surprising.
It's like the complete
Oh,
opposite of
That's
Eldith.
probably why.
I think we're going up to the door.
Sure.
I haven't heard objections about it. So that's where we're
Oscar?
going.
I was gonna be like, Oscar, you want to get involved in this part?
No, I'm good. It's all magic lamps and velvet bags everywhere.
You should put that in your. Make sure you write down how many velvet bags you have, Chelsea. It'll come in handy later.
Oh,
I thought you said they came out of
Oh,
the
come
lamp.
on. Let's be realistic. A
give her some
beautiful
more velvet
bag
bags.
is not going to come out of a lamp.
Why can't you just
The
give
genie
that
has to
her?
come out of that.
Genie's coming out of what?
Go see the live action Aladdin coming out this summer.
Yeah.
I'm more excited for Lion King.
I'm excited for both.
I'm excited for Frozen.
Okay, I'm sorry. Lion King is not live action because you can't what's live? You're not using live lions. They're all CGI. You're just doing a fancy animated movie.
That's fair.
It's not live action.
fair.
They're not using anything live.
This great cavern glimmers with a faint phosphorescence. The ceiling is almost 50 feet overhead, and bright flecks and gleaming stone formations are visible in the distance. Patches of strange fungi dot the floor, including capped stalks standing as tall as a human and glowing puffballs almost a yard wide. There are other strange plants and fungi. Anybody want to describe any of them?
Fungi?
They can see in their heads, yeah.
I'm always like a really big fan of those like mushrooms that like look like they've got like holes in them, but are like really wide. Yeah. I really like really nice and creamy white too, but like they're the size of people.
Okay, so that's what Melusine says as you enter the room. I was just hoping for players to describe more.
Yeah, I want to see one of those.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
There is definitely one of those
Just one.
And Melusine's just like, hey, look, there's one of those over there.
after having already described it. Any other crazy weird fungi or plant-like things in
There's
this?
a really gross fungus. Not sure what it is. If you look down, it's like this pukey yellow color that has like veins that go into the ground, and then they all gather into one part, and it goes upward into the typical mushroom shape. But then as it goes upward, it turns into like this greeny color that's like a really dark, olivey, gross green as well. And then it just oozes yellow. Don't eat it.
Shubnik Earth is really turned on.
I don't want to talk about it anymore.
In amongst all of this fungi, there are these huge green leaves, and it almost looks like the veins of these green leaves are purple, and it's giving off kind of this purple glow halo around the edges of these plants.
There are giant dwarf-sized Venus flytraps everywhere, so we have to be careful because they can eat us at any moment. We see them, but we don't touch them.
There's most definitely a version of that like corpse flower, but like instead of being a corpse flower, it like smells like cinnamon buns.
What's a corpse flower?
It blooms like once every like 4 years,
Oh,
but it smells like dead corpses when it blooms, but it smells like cinnamon buns.
It's called a Lucille flower.
Hey, and Melusine's like, hey, it's a Lucille flower.
what'd you say?
Because she's got nice buns.
She does have nice buns.
Got nice buns.
High ledges rise 15 to 20 feet above the floor on the north, south, and west walls. Narrow passage. Actually, not. Just you say the Venus flytrap thing, and I'll cut Aaron. That way, he doesn't say anything at all.
It means great minds think alike. It's a good thing.
No, I like the other way around.
Mine was going to be more Mario looking, so his is probably better.
Sure, why not? I mean, so from where you're standing, to your right, there's a high ledge. To your left, there are stairs that lead up to a high ledge. And to the north, just a little bit to the east of you, is another high ledge. There is a flight of carved stone stairs descends from the western ledge to a path. This path meanders through the center of the chamber towards a small iron door in the eastern wall. Audible throughout the entire chamber is the sigh of a soft, cool breeze that rises toward the surface far above. Yes, it is the sigh of a satisfied woman. Can anyone do that for Aaron so that he knows what it sounds like?
Not me.
You're just kidding. Why is everyone picking on Aaron today?
He's the only other man at the table, so I kind of like, please describe it for me. I have no idea what that is either.
So the ledges go all the way around?
So there are just a few ledges. There is so on the entire west face, there is a ledge that's 15 to 20 feet high. On the south, there is a ledge that goes up to, it's like 15 to 20 feet high as well. This mossy, fungi, vegetative place that you're in right now is full of it, except for this path. And the path is from the door you're on right now, over and up to the stairs over there. If you look to your left, and then it goes forward a little bit and to the right for you to go all the way over to this open space far off that you can barely see. However, you can kind of see without your dwarven supervision, dark vision, because the roof glitters and sparkles.
Interesting.
I think we should just follow the path. That's how I feel.
Which one? There's two.
Oscar, you look upon this vegetative state. You see that it's sunk down, that it's really high roofed, and everywhere else, all the exits, except for the one you're coming out of, is all up high. And you can see there's a whole bunch of like humidity and whatnot, which is what's causing all this fungus and whatnot to grow. And a little puff ball breaks off of the stalk or whatever it is that it's on, or the flowering thing that it comes from, and it rolls across the way, and you are reminded of your adopted parents who raised you, who told you stories about Borgol and his being your dad and all that wonderful stuff, and how much Borgol liked the taste of puffball, which he could never get again because they're only from the hidden readout. And as the puffball rolls away, you recall again another story one of your the people who raised you told you of Borgol's love of puffballs.
Puffballs. It's delicious. I must go to it.
Well, it's not that far away. Like it's like he dashes off into the fungi. They're a couple feet away. Easily
Frolics into it.
Just rolls somersaults into the vegetation.
Sound of Music style.
Yeah, the hills are alive. No, literally, roll for initiative. No.
How do you fight hills?
I know, eh?
You can't even run to the hills. They're just there.
With sleds.
Ooh.
What do you want to do?
So what are the two directions that we can go?
I'm talking to you about puffballs.
Oh.
Yeah.
I want one.
All right.
I want a puffball.
It's right there. You can grab a puffball.
Okay, I grab a puffball.
All right. Tell me how it tastes.
Tastes like fond childhood memories.
Wonderful. All right. There's a bunch of puffballs near there because there's a puffball plant or whatever. And grab a puffball. So to everyone else's view, you watch Oscar take a couple steps forward, bend down, pick up a puffball, and put it in his mouth and chew happily.
Are you sure that's not poisonous?
It's good eating over there.
All right, somebody watch him for death.
I'm actually thinking I like his idea, so I'm going to look for more food.
Okay, yeah. There's a bunch of...
I have survival. Can I just make sure?
This is a nature check.
Okay, let's try. But I'll just have a puffball, because if he's having a puffball, I'll have a puffball.
All right.
I'll roll for nature.
Sure. Do you have the skill nature? Are you proficient in nature?
No.
Then don't roll. Don't worry about
don't do it.
I mean, you're glad to roll, but you have no basic knowledge in the skill, so it's not worth the roll.
We're not good at nature, these dwarves.
You could roll a history. Hey, you're a bard. You can roll anything. You have bardic knowledge.
I was trying to say that, but...
Bad on me. Roll your bardic knowledge. See if you know crap about fungal. Yes, you apparently
19.
do. You know that all of the things in this little glade, underground glade, can be eaten if prepared properly.
Even the slimy things?
Even the horrible yellow slimy thing makes a delicious chili.
The fungus version of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
The schnozberries take like
but not delicious. Just edible.
Just sustain you through your dwarven hate and grumpiness.
Fair.
Everything's edible here, but we gotta prepare some of them.
You
I
pop
don't know.
a puffball into your mouth, Fogram, and it tastes like mothballs and cobwebs. But it is edible. It's not like it tastes, it just doesn't taste good.
So I spit it out, put it in my hand. I look at it, and then I look at Oscar, and I look back down, and I look at Oscar, and I go, and I throw it down on the ground like, no.
But it definitely was edible.
Is there anything that's kind of runny, like sap or...
Why not? Sure, yeah.
Okay,
There's
so I'm
the
going to
yellow
take the
zoo.
bucket of barbarians. and I'm going to put whatever is like
You just
runny.
stole my bucket?
I'm like, Foggy, I got an idea.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, I grab the yellow goop and I like put it in the bucket of barbarians.
You get the yellow sap into the thing, and it turns into effervescent champagne.
Whoa.
It turns into an effervescent what?
Champagne.
Oh, yay! Champagne for all. I'd like hand it to Foggy.
I'm glad I let you have this. And I drink some and I pass it around.
It's a very small amount because this yellow sap was coming off that fungus thing that Chelsea described.
I can still not, so it's not enough to share.
You spend the next hour running around trying to get yellow sap that you can then use to delight and interest your friends in a sip of champagne under the stars of what is known as the Glitterhame.
Kate, Melusine, and I split it.
And then you don't share it. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's great. So in the end, you decide to go up the stairs to the left, and you head up the stairs, which leads to,
Was the right smelly?
you look into the other part, the western part of this extremely large cave, and it is also faintly lit by natural phosphorescence. The ceiling here rises 50 feet in places. It's not consistent as it is in the Glitterhame itself. Crystals glimmer softly in eerie light. Weird, beautiful flows and structures of delicate stone grace the chamber. The western portion of the great cave is separated from the rest, which you've just come up this sheer bluff. And the ceiling here that you're in right now is half the height of the rest of it. What is interesting, though, upon this dwarven carved and leveled floor is a couple dozen large stone sepulchers that line the cavern wall, each carved with intricate reliefs and designs marked with dwarvish runes.
Can we go investigate the runes?
Well, of course you can.
Whoa.
I probably can read those.
Sure. You head over to the caskets, stone caskets, and they all stand there, and the lids are carved in the likenesses of grim dwarves in armor. Dwarvish runes on the front of each tomb appear to represent the names of the occupants or the intended inhabitants. 3 of the stone coffins have additional runes carved into them.
Can I decipher the runes?
Everyone here can read dwarvish runes. There's no need to
well,
read and whatnot. You all read the dwarvish alphabet. The additional runes record the occupant's date of death and the great deeds the dwarf performed in life. And carved into these 3 coffins is a warning that doom awaits any who dare defile the honorable dead. The names upon these 3 sepulchers are Borgel the Old, Garen Orc Doom, and Numic the Unlucky.
No, Numic.
But you knew Numic was dead.
No, I know. I just
Okay.
I didn't know he was like in the slightly to the left of the mushroom place.
You're really upset about where Numic is.
Yes. So it seems like orcs that fell during raids were honored here, and herein lie their remains.
Orcs?
The dwarves that fell to the orcs.
Okay.
Isn't that what I said?
You
Yeah,
said
yeah.
orcs that fell here.
All right.
I don't remember Garen. Do we know Garen? The second guy you mentioned. I don't
Yeah.
recognize the name.
I
That's-
don't either.
That's who's your character's predecessor?
Some guy.
Named Garen
Oh, is it?
Orc Doom.
Is that my
Yeah, I
daddy?
love the fact.
Yeah.
Well, or your grandpa, one of the two.
That's
not
my
really clear.
Gampy?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Oh, it's Gampy. I don't think I ever wrote it down.
So Bagram stands there saying, "Who is Garen Orc Doom?"
Oh, I remember the Orc Doom. I do remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It was
Sorry.
always spelled differently for me.
For some reason, I always called him Grandpa.
Not Garen. Grandpa Orc Doom.
Yeah.
And there's like the Doom had a U instead of an O. No, you know. Yeah.
So this is all humor aside, this is a very solemn and wonderful moment for the Stonehammers, because here you are at the grave spot, the grave sites of your predecessors. And here is the sepulcher where the body of Borgul could be interred if you had any desire to do so.
But I don't want to mess with the dead.
Well, I mean, Borgul is not interred in this sepulcher. That this sepulcher must be empty and does not contain his bones, right? So his bones lie one level below. They're not too far away.
It's just like a memorial.
Or it's part of like a, right? Because what the thing said not to disturb.
There would be grave something.
Yes, the warning that doom awaits any who dare defile the honorable dead. You're not really defiling any honorable dead here. There's nothing in that sepulcher.
So it's probably just a clue for some.
A clue.
So really what your character's saying right now?
Clue.
All right, be in character. Stop asking Kyle questions and talk to each other.
He said a clue, and I was like, and Melusine said, started to sing about clues. Can't get any more in character than that. I can try.
My question was, I don't know if necessarily, like, I said something.
Yeah.
And
It was me.
Allison spoke to me,
Yeah.
and then you started singing about a clue, which wasn't really in, like, you brought it
Fine.
in character. So, like, just back the truck up. Is there anything that you would like to say or do as characters in this very sober, personal, peaceful moment?
I think we should look in here.
Yeah, you want to bust open these mausoleums?
Yeah.
Usually when there's like a warning like this, then there's like a giant ball that drops from the roof in the stories, or like, you're cursed with a mummy curse. I mean, is it really worth it?
Yeah. Or blood. It won't be bad.
And then she runs over and throws one of them off.
For reals?
Which one?
Why do you do this to us?
The one that we think is empty.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. With the intent to, like, shatter the lid as you throw it off, or are you just trying to be
No.
Okay, yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
just enough
I
to,
try and make sure I'm recognizing what you're saying. So you run up and you push the lid. Nothing happens. There is no doom and gloom as laid out by Melusine. The casket is empty, and there are no remains of Borgul the Old inside, which of course you already knew.
And there's no like trinkets
No,
or
nothing
treasures.
bad happens. There's nothing in it. It's just an empty sepulcher.
Can we open the next one?
I probably wouldn't.
You're such a shit disturber.
In character.
Such a shit disturber.
So this is like the exception that proves the rule
What?
of the curse.
Just don't.
Just don't.
Just please
And
don't.
also, like, I respectfully ask you not to disturb the potential bones of my grandfather.
I think we should be more serious. And that's me saying that.
I just wanted to see.
Your character is a paladin. You are trained in religion, correct?
Yes.
What do the dwarves honor most in life, and what would they bury and inter their dead with? Do you think dwarves would want to take that special fancy pickaxe or great sword or magical quarterstaff and bury it with the dead thane or the dead guy?
Yes, especially if it was crafted.
But dwarves are the most practical and stolid of all. They'd be like, don't bury that with it's just gonna lay there in the ground moldering. We need it. So
They're basically Scottish.
They're hella frugal.
I'd want to be
You pass it down, right? You want to pass it down to your family.
or whosoever
Yeah.
is deserving of it. They're actually, they don't bury. You know this from your profession. Being proficient in religion, you know that they don't bury their dead with riches and valuables, that if anything, they might bury them with a couple of ingots of steel or copper or bronze or something that they may have wanted to craft, but is not of any significant worth because they weren't able to do anything with it before they passed.
When I think Eldith is actually more curious to find out if there are any bodies in these, seeing as we already know that one of them wasn't.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I think that's what she's more curious about and she's trying to figure out what the chain of events were. Like if the unlucky was
Unlucky's over here.
the unlucky was killed on a different floor, were the other 3 somewhere else as well?
Even if they were killed somewhere else, they would have been interred here. But Borgel was captured by the orcs much later. Borgel was probably there for the interment of these other 2. When you push the casket a little aside, because you know they're not trapped, that's not something dwarves would do, that they would warn others not to. When you push aside the sepulcher, you can see the remains in the other 2 of Numic and of Garen Orkdoom.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you want to make a history check?
Nope. 6.
Vaguely, you recall Garen Orkdoom dying before Numic the Unlucky died. Stories don't speak to you.
No.
Beyond more than that.
Can I just have a look around the room and see if I can find anything else that might be of worth to us? Just have a look
Yeah,
around.
there doesn't seem to be anything else of worth. You note the other sepulchers and you note some of the names that are upon them, and you have a silent moment of solemnity, I hope. I don't know. That's up to you guys. About your character's forebears. And maybe your owl bears. I don't know.
Owl bear.
When Tessakar sees the tombs of his relatives, he takes a blank piece of paper out of his book, and then he folds it up into a little dragon, and he places one on each tomb like he did with his mom's tomb.
Wow.
Aw.
It's his way of like honoring the dead.
Anybody else doing anything cool?
Yeah, I think that Melusine probably going to say a silent word to Numic the Unlucky and just in her own head.
Melusine is silent for the first time in...
I know, that's why it's respectful.
Yeah, okay. I love it.
Can Eldith sense if these were blessed? Like for
Like
their afterlife?
magically with the divine... I mean, you wouldn't be able to sense that very well. You would imagine that there were some rites that were done over them, but nothing that was dedicated to a specific god, nor are there any markings, runes, or otherwise that would say that these dwarves are wished for a peaceful afterlife or sent on their way.
Can she do that to ensure that the remainder of their afterlife is taken care of?
Sure, if you want to do a ceremony or something like that. Do you have the spell ceremony? I don't know if you do. But you may, of course.
I was going to say I may have during my long rest.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. What are some of the words you say in your ceremony?
Ilmater, I call upon you to bless and guide our fallen ancestors to ensure their happiness and peace, and that they find one another so that our family can begin to be together again. I hope they connect with my mother in the next life.
Oscar, much like Melusine, is kind of leaning with my back against the sepulcher, even though I know that Borgel the Old isn't in there. I'm just kind of leaning and just looking up at the ceiling, contemplating in thought.
You're not going to go get the bones?
Oh, I guess I could. Yeah, let's do that.
It didn't even occur to you?
No, it did. Honestly, didn't.
I'm going to go help him.
Do you cut Eldith off and be like, wait.
Wait a second.
Does that scene happen?
No, she did a good job. I don't want to cut her off mid.
Don't you want the bones blessed?
Well, could you do it again?
Yeah, you could always
I could
just
do it again.
stop her. Guys, this is role-playing. We don't have to account for every moment. You could literally have said, no, you know what? I'm going to cut her off before she says those things. I'm going to run downstairs, get the bones, and then she says that after all of that is done. That's perfectly fine, if that's what you would like to do.
Yes, let's do that. So before Eldith does her blessing, I say, hold on, wait a minute. I go get the bones of Borgel the Old.
Okay.
Then to put them back into the sepulcher. I close it.
Yeah.
And then I let Eldith do her blessing.
Does anybody help you?
Melusine,
Yeah,
I believe,
I'm
is helping.
And as they're going down there, I'm folding a third dragon.
Okay. What's Fogrum up to?
Eldith had pushed open Garen's thing open a little bit.
And Numix, yep.
So I look in a little bit. Go, hi, Gampy. It's nice to see you.
Yep.
It's nice to meet you. I hope you're doing okay. And then I close the lid.
Yeah, his pinky toe bone wiggles. But you're pretty sure it's just a breeze. There really wasn't any breeze. Anyway.
Now I'm really sure my pants are wet.
Not in a good way.
That was very lovely.
Oh, okay. That's fair. That's fair. I get it. You're the one who scared
We're at the funeral for Grandpa, and you're like, I got the runs.
You're trying to literally scare the crap out of me, so crap comes out of me. That's what happens.
Never invite Allison to a scary movie festival.
Not me. I'm fine. Foggy's big chicken. He's got a freaking mohawk. Like a chicken. Like,
Oh, okay. That's a rooster. But all right,
But he's a dude,
Really
so that
confused.
makes sense.
When you inter the bones of Borgul the Old and close the sepulcher back up, a strange feeling washes over all of you. The hair on your forearms stands up, and you hear the final note of like a dwarven prayer before dinner or whatnot ring out in your heads. All of you look around at each other, but there was no sound at all. But you definitely feel that sense of peace that comes from finishing off a good dwarven meal, which is why the prayer is always said at the end of the meal and not before it in dwarven kinds.
I was kind of hoping the little dragons took flight and flew away.
Fogram cuts one and knocks all of the dragons off.
Sorry, guys. I've been holding that in all day.
There are only 2 exits from this room. The one to the north and one you just came up. The one to the north, you peek out through it. It actually leads to the room where you fell into the stream and went into the troglodyte lair in the first place.
Yeah, that was bad.
So that's what you see. There is another pathway that you had never traveled down before to the east from that original room you went in. But seeing as how that path was laid out before you in the fungi, and Oscar wants another puffball before you move on, you elect to move south. Who casts the last glance backwards as you head out of the dwarven sepulcher of your ancestors?
I will. I'll take the last glance.
Perfect. Oscar, you see the ghostly shade of an old dwarf with black as midnight hair and a luscious black beard looking upon you all fondly, you think, and the origami dragons that Tessakar has placed upon each of the sepulchers. One of them, and you're not too sure. It's not Borgul. It could be Garen or Numik. You're not too sure which of the two. But that dragon has turned black as you head down the stairs. Allison sings as she descends the stairs from the level above.
Yeah, I always add sound effects when I go downstairs. So it's like do 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 do.
So we can be stealthy.
And after we've just buried one of our ancestors.
We're like clinking all the time. I just add like that extra mood music to stairs. Do do.
I thought it was bad when I cut one in there. Like this is somehow worse.
Anything Melusine does is somehow worse.
Our grandpa was the only one not there.
Are you gonna tell us what happened, Oscar?
He's probably buried in a great chamber somewhere.
You reach the path. There is a whole bunch of options here.
Uh-oh.
Okay. In this instance here, there's definitely some interesting choices. One, there is a path to your left as you're walking along this fungi-less place. It's basically just bare stone floor for about 10 feet until the fungi and the plants start to spring up on the other side. Not too sure exactly why. I don't think any of you have nature skill or proficiency to know what the heck's going on here, but there is a path that leads straight to a dwarven carved set of doors.
Was that the path to the left?
Yes,
down the
left.
stairs. Yeah. So no, you're walking down a path. Straight ahead of you is some doors way off in the distance, and to the left there is a pathway that seems to be a natural pathway that is about 5 feet wide that leads off into darkness to what would be north, but for you right now, because you're heading east, it's to your left. A little bit further down, there is a cliff up, and there's a whole bunch of scree at the bottom of it that's killed or wiped out possibly any vegetation or whatnot. And you feel the breeze coming from the top of that cliff, that 15 feet or so of scree or whatnot that you'd have to climb. You can feel the breeze coming from that direction. That's where this soft sigh of a satisfied woman is coming from.
Never heard that.
Find the right girlfriend? I don't know. To your right, there is that embankment. You cannot see past it. It looks like the wall itself also raises up, but you could climb up there and maybe get a good vantage point for more of your surroundings now that you're down and in amongst them. And to the right of where that dwarven set of doors is, there is the Glitterhame carpet of fungi and plant life grows out for a distance you cannot see beyond.
Like very Great Hall type sizes.
Yes, to a greater or lesser extent. So you have now seen all but like one area of this entire expanse. So I will now present you with level 2 of the Forge of Furies map, so you can kind of see better as to what I'm talking about now that you've explored and seen everything.
Should we go through the doors?
Now that you've seen more of the map, is there anything else that you would like to explore in this area?
So we haven't, where it goes into the darkness, where it has the natural path, we haven't been there.
The one to the left.
Yeah.
Yeah, many of the things that I've just described to you, you haven't been to. You haven't been to where the sigh of the satisfied woman is coming from. Aaron will get there one day. You haven't been into the depths of the fungal, natural, moist, damp caves. Aaron, you'll get there eventually. And you haven't been up that kind of around the backside, tight, dark, cramped location that Fogram has spent so much time talking about this game session.
Aaron, you'll get there someday.
Whoa.
See, just got to be open-minded.
He's just got to put his finger on it. Just got to put your finger on it. You get there eventually.
One step at a time.
Yeah. My thought is either left or straight. That's how I'm thinking.
That's Fogram all the time. Left or straight?
I'm thinking
It's
left.
never straight.
Left.
I'm thinking left.
Left.
Wait, is it left the doors?
Left is the sigh of the contented one.
Oh, I thought left
I thought it was right.
I thought left was the natural 5 foot wide darkness. Those are the notes I put.
Okay, so there's two ways to the left. There's the tiny little location, and then there's that one there, the larger one that opens up to something called 26. That's where the sigh is coming from. The one just a bit further back of it is the small one that leads up to an area that ties in.
To the left, to the left.
Yes. First left or second?
I was thinking to the doors was what I was.
So you take the first left, you go on a little adventure, and it results in you being back to where you are right now.
Perfect.
But one of you is dead. So make a choice. Who is
Melusine.
dead?
Whoa.
No, I'm just kidding.
Holy smokes. Talk about a twist.
What a twist.
What's a twist?
I should have held on. I should have been like, one of you is dead. Who is dead? And then all of you would be like, I'm dead. No, I'm cool. I'm dead. Yeah, whatever. I'll make a new character. I'm dead. And I'll be like, wow, you guys have real love for your characters.
No, I was going to say, I'm not dead.
Except that you're the one who keeps wanting to sacrifice yourself all the time.
She just takes
Yeah,
big
she just
risks.
likes adventure.
Yeah, she just takes big risks.
You take that first left that leads to the tiny area, and it takes you actually all the way around. You go on a little adventure, and I will summarize it in less than a minute. All of the troglodytes that were watching a bear that they had captured are dead because they were summoned by Kargas to fight you. The bear is all alone. You may choose, do you save the bear or do you just leave the bear there, knowing that none of you have nature or really good at yeah, you're not gonna. Go ahead, roll a d20. You kill the bear. Good job.
No!
Yes, because you realize that the bear is rabid and cannot be saved.
So that's the kind thing.
Did you
Yeah.
run over it 6
Wow.
times with a vehicle?
You are the luckiest person. What did you roll in the die for animal handle check?
20.
Yeah, lucky you.
I have a +3 in animal handling.
No, I know. But if you had not rolled well, you would have been like, we can handle the bear. You just luck out in your handle animal knowing like, oh, that's a sign that bear is rabid. That's not a good idea. We can't tame that bear. Lucky you. You end up putting the bear down. Since the bear's tied up, that's easy to do. And it is the humane way to go since you cannot save the bear. Except Eldith mentions afterwards that she could have.
Why do you do this to me? I feel like this is pick on Foggy Day.
I don't know. I do realize now that Eldith has the ability to cure disease with her paladin abilities, so she could easily have cured the disease of the rabid bear, saved him, but you'd already made the decision to put him down, I gather. All right, either way, I said 1 minute, so we're moving on. You come back around, and everything is good.
He gets to go back and get his grandfather, but I don't get to save a bear.
Right. The other thing to note is that you do find the remains of poor Chumby Numblefoot,
Oh, no.
who'd been tied up and was going to be fed to the bear, and he unfortunately passed away due to wounds before the bear ate him.
That's so sad.
This is so depressing.
We can bring his corpse back with us.
Now that you've killed the bear, absolutely, if you'd
Yeah,
like
I
to.
think we bring the remains back.
Yeah.
Because, like, potentially we could resurrect Chumby.
Or at least give him to his family.
Yeah, I think we give him
I
to
think
his
we should give
family
him to his family.
for burial, and then I can do a ceremony on him.
Burial. That's
Bear
fine.
just died, guys.
Do you leave
Rude.
Chumby in the area of the sepulcher so you can gather him easily rather than carrying him
Yes.
all over the place?
Let us do
Sort of
that.
thing. Okay. Then that is what you do. You return. It's been a minute of time. Adventures happened. Hooray! Unfortunate ends and whatnot. All right. So there is a bunch of scree at the bottom of a ravine. You go forward to climb up this scree. You begin to climb this scree to see where this breeze is coming from. The hair on the backs of your necks begins to stand up as you believe that you are entering the natural nesting place and protective grounds of some horrible subterranean monster. But before you can turn around and run away, you all will roll initiative next game.
What?
But before I send you all away today, I would like to say you are all wonderful players. And I felt very inspired by your performances tonight. So you all get 1 blue and 1 white gem,
Woohoo!
Yeah.
which you'll probably use next game.
Ooh.
Raise a glass and drink with the enemy. Raise a glass and sing with the enemy. And I'm not gonna do this on my own. And raise a glass and toast to the enemy. Raise a glass and sing to the enemy. And I'm not gonna do this on my own.
This concludes this episode of Tavern Tales, a curated Dungeons & Dragons 5e game set in the Tales of the Yawning Portal adventure module by Wizards of the Coast. Our intro and outro music is the song Tavern Tales by the Bad Billy Band. You can find out more about the Bad Billy Band on iTunes or at www.badbillyband.com or follow them on Twitter at badbillyband. Thanks for listening. Please feel free to leave us a review on iTunes or find us on Twitter at tavern_tales. We'll be back next week with more of the adventure.